Good morning and welcome to another episode of our Migrants Journey. It's week 6, episode 26. Tons of stories in there. Thank you all for your support and your comments, your likes, your shares, your subscribes. I highly appreciate it. Please continue supporting me. If you're watching this live or watching the replay, please leave a comment on YouTube or LinkedIn. And please do subscribe to my channel to watch all the 25 episodes so far. If you're watching this for the first time, a migrant's journey, I kicked off the series with an aim to share real stories out there. Migrating is often seen as a dream come true for many, but the initial job struggle is not a dream. It's really a struggle, mainly because of the expectations we keep in there and the cultural differences that we are not ready to accept or adapt in the beginning. So these stories, I've shared 25 stories so far, kind of give you insight on how people crack their first job and how they made it up, how they settled down in Australia. So please do watch all the episodes. Keep supporting me. It's a Monday morning. I'm a bit sleepy. I slept late yesterday. Manchester United finally made it to the Champions League, so that's good news. But I slept late yesterday. That means I'll be a bit slow. And if I do say something wrong, please shoot out. Let's begin today's episode. Today I have Sravya with me. She's a test engineer. I think she is one of those people I met in my first meetup and have that special connection. I always say that the people who attended my first meetup have a special place in my heart, just like a first crush, you could say. Not the exact same way, but it's still special. So let's straight go into the things. Good morning, Sravya. How are you today?
Good morning, Vinesh. Thank you for inviting me for this, and I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. No worries at all. It's finally good to see you. I think it's been 2 years since we have met in
Yes,
person, but
yes,
I think COVID is making all this refreshing connections possible. So let's
that's
get
right.
straight into things. Who are we? Who are you, Sravya, and what do you do?
So I'm a test engineer with almost 6 years experience in India, and I have 1 year experience in Melbourne now.
Hmm.
So it's been 2 years for me, almost 2 years for me now.
Okay.
I met you in the first meetup. I remember that's how this journey started for me.
Hmm.
I came here for a very short period in the beginning
Yep.
um, to be with my husband,
Hmm.
and then to see how things are in Melbourne. Then I went back to India.
Hmm.
I quit my job, then came back,
Yep.
started my search.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's nice. Yeah, I'm glad that it started at, I mean, both of our journeys started in a meetup, so that's good. Now let's go straight to the beginning. I mean, the way I do this is we cover how you migrated and I know how was your experience over there. So, before moving to Melbourne, what preparation did you do?
um, I absolutely did nothing actually because I came here to have a good time.
Yeah, that's actually a
Yeah,
good way to move to Australia or any other country for that matter. Come have fun and then think about the serious stuff. So I
right.
absolutely like that. So now that you had probably no expectations or no study on what happens over here, how was the first few weeks or months like? Not with regards to job search, in general, the culture, weather, the system, how it works over here. How was it for you?
I've always wanted to come to Australia. I do not like any other country much, or I do not want to go to any other countries as much as I wanted to come to Australia.
Hmm.
That was because my brother was here, he was
Oh,
studying, and
nice.
then my husband was here as well studying. So it was, I don't know, it could be because my brother gave this hype that Melbourne is one awesome place to live.
Yeah.
So I always had this ever since my school days.
Hmm.
And then I came here. And in the beginning, the cold was not too much for me. I was okay with it because it was you know, I think it was spring that I came here.
Okay.
So it was not very cold.
Yeah.
So I was like, Melbourne weather is really good. I like it here. I am from Chennai, so it's very hot back
Yeah.
home. So
Absolutely.
It's very good here.
Yeah. Has
And
the
then,
opinion of the weather changed?
yes, it did.
Yeah.
So every time my husband makes fun of me, saying, the first day I landed here, I was like, I don't need a jacket. I just can go like that
Yeah.
anywhere I want to. And then the trams were new. It
Mhm.
was very exciting. It was my first time getting into trams in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So learning how to travel in trams and learning how the grid works in the
Yeah.
city and all those things. Everything was new,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
very interesting. I think having your brother and husband over here already and painting a picture already kind of
yeah,
probably settled you down to
it
understand
did.
what happened over here. So now let's come to job search. I mean, how was the beginning? I'm sure it evolved over time, but for a start, how did you start, approaching job search, and what was your initial responses like?
So before coming here, I knew Seek was where I have to go
Mhm.
if I need a job. When I came here, I relaxed for a month or so, and then I started job searching. And then I got to know with my network here that LinkedIn plays a very important role.
Mhm.
So when I started actually putting my LinkedIn profile in a very professional way, that is when I came across your Meetup. So I thought, why not just sitting at home? I can just go for one meetup, see how people are doing, what they're doing. So that was my first step,
Mhm.
actually. Coming to your meetup was my first step.
Yeah.
And then you know how it went. I had to go back to India. So
Yeah.
when I came back, I made sure I came to your meetup again.
Mhm.
So I know I haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
When I came to your meetup for the second time, I made a few more friends,
Mhm.
and I started following your techniques. I started connecting to people.
Mhm. So
Um,
I think that even though that break happened, unexpected, that kind of helped you prepare on what you have to do. Probably, I'm just saying, but I'm glad that our my meetup was the beginning. It was the first one for me as well. It was a
yeah.
completely different experience. So what did you do then? I mean, how did your job search go after, returning back? I think it took you about 4 months to get a job. So, how did that job search go? And did you have any, learning experiences or bad experiences during that time?
Um, so I did attend a lot of interviews. I went to meet recruiters in their offices. I would ask my connections to introduce me to recruiters they know, so I can just go. I mean, I can just arrange for a meetup
Mhm.
and go talk to them uh, and ask them how it goes and make a friendly conversation with them
Yeah.
first. Um, I got a lot of interviews. Nothing seemed to work out for me in the beginning. So, just like everybody else, I thought my resume was too good. I
Mhm.
thought my LinkedIn profile was fine.
Yeah.
When I came to meetups and when I corrected each and everything in my LinkedIn profile,
Mhm.
I was excited to see myself, my profile looking more and more professional every
Yeah.
day. So I corrected whatever I could, whatever I learned
Mhm.
from uh, feedback people had provided me. And with the interviews, I got two offers at once after
Oh,
4 months of struggle.
I don't know why. I see a lot of stories. People don't get any offers for months, and then suddenly they say I have two or three offers. So I don't know why it happens, but yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah. Yeah.
You never know how it works.
Yeah.
So once for the company I am working in, I had to wait for almost 4.5 weeks to get selected, to get a confirmation that I am okay to go with the role.
Mhm.
In between, I never stopped searching for jobs. I kept trying. So I got another interview in between, which was really tough.
Mhm.
In the sense, it was not tough in terms of technical, but in terms of how they interviewed or how tricky the questions were.
Yeah.
So I never had a hope that I would get into that interview.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got a call. I was first rejected by the second company.
Uh-huh.
I got a rejected email. Before that, for any rejections, I never actually went back and asked for their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I know people keep telling it's good to always ask for a feedback, but I never did.
Yeah.
So this interview, I thought, why not? Maybe let me try asking for a feedback. So I went on to the HR in an email asking how I did. So normally she just came back to me saying I was good, but then they got a better person for the same role.
Yeah.
I wasn't satisfied with the answer. I wanted more detail, but I just couldn't ask,
Yeah.
so I kept quiet. So I thanked her and I just left it there.
Mm.
I followed up with my first job again to see how it went. So I still remember the job I have now. They called me on a Tuesday. They asked me if I'm okay to come for an interview on the following Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was ready. But then Wednesday they called me and they said, we don't want to interview. We
Oh,
just want to take you for the role straight
really?
away.
That's
I was so excited.
when you said we don't want to interview, it's like it looked like a sad tone, but then we just want to hire you. That's a surprise. Yeah.
Yes. So I was so excited. And then I spoke to the HR over the call for the package and all the other details.
Mm.
Um, and then when I was excited on a on the same Thursday, I got the call from the second job asking if I'm still interested to come back. I first didn't know what to answer. It was very surprising for me
Yeah.
that they had rejected me, but they still wanted me back after
Mhm.
a week. So I asked about the details and the package I wanted to negotiate and all that.
Yeah.
So they asked me if I had another offer in hand
Yeah.
because I was negotiating. So I said, yes, I have an offer in my hand. I want to see what is better for me.
Mm.
So I did go with the first one.
Very interesting stories.
Yes.
And I think I remember the day you called me. I don't know if it was the same day as you got a job or after you got the
Yeah, it
second
was the
thing.
same day.
Yeah, same day. I remember that conversation. I mean, whenever I get a call and I hear some happy noise, happy voice, I know what's happening, and it was really good to hear from you that day.
Yes.
So that's a very interesting story. You said you have 2 years experience in testing in
1 year experience in Melbourne. Yeah.
in India. You have 2 years experience,
No, in India, I had 6 years.
6 years experience. But testing is a very competitive field today.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be going into it. There seems to be a lot of opportunities, but it looks like everyone is competing for the same space. So, on a technical side of things, what do you think is in store for a test engineer here in Australia? Are there good opportunities, or is it hard? Is there high competition, or can I mean, I see a trend where developers are going into testing jobs. Anyone says, hey, I can study testing and going into that. So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say it's very hard,
Mm,
or I wouldn't say it's very easy either,
mhm.
because searching job for the first time or be it the second time, searching a new job itself is a tricky thing because you have to always be updated with the technology.
Yeah.
That always matters. So any testers who are trying for jobs have to understand what is in the market, what is expected in the market today,
Mm,
to try for the jobs. You might not have experience in the uh, requirement for today,
mm.
but it's always good to learn about it
Yeah.
and have a knowledge about it. That really helps.
Yeah.
Having knowledge about it really helps. One thing I would like to tell anybody who's trying, not just testers, anybody who's trying for a job search here is, even if you're searching for jobs, so with the previous videos, you would have come across the quantities and qualities of applying jobs. So even if you are going to maintain a quality over applying your jobs, make sure you learn something every day. You keep updated with your, I mean, with the technology.
Hmm.
So you don't you are all, I mean, how do I say it, you should always be
On
advanced
top of
in tech.
things. Yeah.
Yes, you have to always be in advanced in tech.
Mm.
You have to have at least little knowledge on whatever field you are in.
Yeah.
So it is always better for you, you at least get a chance to talk about it in the interviews. You can very well say you are interested, but you have never had
Yeah.
an experience in it, but you are very interested and you have learned so many points regarding it.
Yeah.
That will always help you. It
Yeah.
might not help you in the just next interview,
Yeah.
but down the line, if you see, it will always help.
I think having that passion, having that genuine passion is key over here because if you're just learning stuff to crack the interview, I mean, it's easy to figure out when
Yes,
someone interviews you, it's easy to figure out that you're just, learning, I mean, doing it for the sake of it and not having real passion in there. And especially with testing, not even testing, any IT job, I think there are tons of technology. I mean, technology changes every day. It's hard to keep up, and you have to kind of invest in time upskilling, not just job searching. I understand job search is a full-time job, but I mean, upskilling is part of it. You can't say, okay, let me upskill for 1 month and let me up then job search for 1 month. After job
that's
searching for
right.
1 month, I'll go to upskill. That's not the way it works.
That's
And
right.
there are tons of online resources right now, free or paid. I mean, you don't have to literally sit in you can't sit in a classroom today, but you don't have to do that. You can just go sign up to any of these courses online and get that done. That was really good advice. I don't think anyone has given that advice so far. Even advices were specific on job search, how to do this. Not I don't think anyone touched on the technical aspects of things. So thanks for that. Now, uh, um, because we have a lot of common things with regards to my meetup, and your journey started there. What at my first meetup, it was my first meetup as well. So my journey started there as well. So what did you think about that whole thing? I mean, I was unprepared there. I just, booked a room and said, "Hey, let's come here and do something." But and in the end, it turned out to be really good. And I was personally surprised that I could do that. But what was your initial experience with such meet? I mean, this is one meetup, but going to any meetup, being the first one, what was your initial impressions?
So, with the first meetup, uh, I just wanted to know how people are looking for jobs. That
Hmm.
was my only motive before I could come for your meetup.
Hmm.
When I came there, I was surprised by how people could come forward to talk about their experience and tell how things work and how it worked for them.
Yeah,
I think there were people who were already working
yeah,
in your first meetup as well.
yeah.
So when they come up and speak about their stories, it's really inspiring.
Mm.
So you just get the confidence that you're not the only one trying
Yeah,
out there
absolutely.
so
I mean,
hard.
I think having that community feeling is really important, and I think
Yes,
that kind of helped you. I mean, the connections you made, that kind of helped you during the unfortunate incident that happened after that as well. So
yes.
it's not only on a professional front, it's on a personal front as well. It's a huge help. And
It is.
I actually remember the first meetup, someone was the hero that day. I mean,
Yes,
she kind of just got a job, and the way she got a job, she got the referral through a party, and everyone was like, whoa, what happened? And everyone was like around her, trying to figure out what the story was. So even sharing your story, even if you get a job, go to platforms. I mean, this is a platform that I created. My Meetups is another platform. Go to these platforms and inspire other people. It's an easy thing, right? You just have to say what you did. You don't have to uh, research something, figure out something, nothing. What did you do? Your journey can be an inspiring thing, and that's what I tell to every migrant out there. If you have found a job out there, share that story. It will inspire a lot of other people, and I'm hoping this series is doing the same thing.
yes.
Anything? That's it for my questions today. Anything you'd like to share, or did I miss something today, Sravya?
I would like to add what I learned from
Yeah.
your meetups specifically, because I am someone who cannot initiate a conversation. I cannot go randomly initiate a conversation
Mm,
and talk about myself or ask about them. But in my first meetup with you, I was really shy. I didn't speak to anybody that day. I remember I was with my friend, so I didn't really come up to speak to a new person.
mm,
So when I came to your second meetup, I started seeing how people make conversation. I wanted to make a conversation myself.
mm,
So I am sure there are many people out there who cannot make a conversation on their own. So going to meetups really help, when people around you are actually talking to each other and you're standing there all alone. You get that urge to go
yeah.
forward and talk to people.
Mm.
That I improved that in myself, so it is really good.
And that's key here in Australia, isn't it? I mean that
Yes.
that um need to talk to people, that's key, right? You can't afford to sit in the back bench and just play in your phone. You have to
Yes.
get into the crowd, you have to talk. And uh, I still remember that was my first meetup. I'm the same person, I don't like, I can't strike a random conversation. I say if three or four people are having a conversation, I can't go in there and introduce myself, hey, I'm Vinesh Madan. No. But if three or
Yes.
four people come to me and ask questions, I can talk. That's a different thing, right? So that was my first ever meetup, and I didn't know what I was doing there as well, but I just took the stage. I
It
had a
was good
laptop. I
actually.
think I had a couple of slides, and I just shared my story to start with, and I asked how others are doing. Fortunately, that was a really supportive group. A lot of people are still in touch, and like I've already interviewed Varsha and someone from that group, and I remember, they were very energetic on that day. I still remember Varsha's first question, when I said you have to quantify your achievements in your resume. She jumped, she was like this, how do we quantify?
Yes. I
I still
remember.
remember that. But these are the moments that kind of define who you are, and that is what will help you learn and grow. And you have to do that. There is no running
Yes.
away. Meetups, talking to people. Even now, even if you can't go do meetups in person, I always say, even though I'm not going out these days, I've probably attended more meetups and I've talked to more people than I've done in the past 1 year. So there's still a platform out there. Everything is online. So the only thing that's stopping you is you, nothing else.
True.
So, thank you so much for your time, Sravya. This is a Monday morning, an exciting story, a lot of good insights in there, and it's always good to catch up with. This is what I say, always good to catch up with people that I've actually met in the past, rather than virtually
Yes.
meeting. So, thank you so much for your time today. And if people would like to connect you, would LinkedIn be the right place for you?
Yes,
Yeah,
they can connect with me through LinkedIn, but I would ask for a note when they connect.
good.
So I know they have watched the video and that's where they want to connect with me. Whatever reason be it, if they add a note, it will be really helpful because I remember you had showed my resume in one of your meetups. Not my resume, I think it was my LinkedIn
Yeah.
profile in one of the meetups. And I had this full rush of invites in my LinkedIn profile. I had no idea who they are.
Well, brace for
So,
another rush. I hear that happening a lot.
yeah,
But if you're watching this video, only one point. If you're sending a connection request to Sravya, just put a note that, hey, I watched this video. Say one nice thing about her. And that's how you have to connect. It's
thank
it's
you.
really surprising. um, People who I've interviewed in the past, they say, hey, I get tons of connection requests. Even though I explicitly say, if you're sending a connection request, add a note. No one does that. They just connect, connect,
Yeah,
connect, connect.
yeah,
It's a sad thing. It just means that you just want help, or you just want things to be done, and you're not ready to work for it. And this is not even work. This is just one nice word about her, right? I'm sure you
yeah.
have tons of nice things to say about her. So just put that out there and send her a connection request, and that's how
Thank
things
you.
will work.
Thank you, Vinesh.
Or is it
Thank
also
you.
Thank you for your time to all our live viewers and whoever watching this. Thank you so much for being a part of this again. Remember, there are 25 stories. If you haven't watched already, go watch them, binge them. I think that's 12 hours worth of content. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time, Sravya.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.